one could almost say that that was worth the wait. Hello YouTubers, this is a noobifier. Today the roadmap went from 0 to 4 quarters. All of the supporting information is linked in the description. Let me take you through all of it in 8 minutes and 25 seconds. I'm not going to bother with 3.12 despite it being patched as we already have it, and that's not really that interesting. There are 4 tabs in location with Refinery Station Non-Commercial Overlays, which introduces new non-commercial overlays to the entry area of the refinery stations and of course adds a little bit more variety to better suit the theme. Stanton System Polish updates assets, objects, and global data of all of the planetary bodies within Stanton. What a job. New asteroids for Stanton System. This creates replacements to the asteroids that are currently used in the Stanton System using the new organic asset workflow. Cave entrances are getting an update with drive-in and sinkhole. The drive-in entrance will allow players to enter using ground vehicles, while the sinkhole will require a player to enter and exit using a ship. The gameplay tab has 11, and that starts with spawn closets. This is the initial implementation of spawn closets. These areas let NPCs to spawn and despawn outside of the player's view. These are going to be used to support future missions and security responses, so that they don't just pop in like they do in Cyberpunk, like a transporter breaks immersion. Mounted guns will further expand the player's arsenal by allowing them to take control of mounted guns on either vehicles or the ground. Improved forced reactions will expand on the physics-based reactions to the physical force. This will introduce a stagger and a collision, and this also goes on to the pilot. A rework for missile guidance. This will convert missiles to use the IFCS guidance and control systems. This is going to improve missile tracking and performance, enabling greater control over the general missile behavior. Vehicle name and serial numbers. This will add the ability for ships that display a custom player assigned name to be shown. All other ships are going to have a unique serial number displayed to identify them in the universe. Vehicle visual degradation. I probably said that wrong, which is just a fancy word for wear. This introduces visual wear and tear to the player's ships as they age and degrade. When implemented, the ship will change a little bit depending on how long they've existed in the verse. Merlin to Connie docking. Yes, friends. This adds the ability for the Merlin snub fighter to dock and undock with the Constellation. My god, I thought it would never happen. Missile operator mode. We've heard about this one a lot. Missiles can now be controlled under a dedicated missile operator mode, which gives the player the option to select and fire different missiles, which is good because you won't just fire what's next, you'll be able to choose. Law Surrender V2. This allows players to be arrested without losing their life. To surrender, you come to a halt and you power down your ship, and security will halt their attack and just arrest you. Ship to station docking. This adds the ability to dock very large ships onto docking ports and space stations. This includes all of the work having to do with ATC assigning you the docking port, and then building out the docking connectors and the lobbies within the space station for that large ship to connect to. Object push-pull. This mechanic allows players to grab larger objects and move them around by either pushing or pulling them. And we end 3.13 with 3 ships, the Nova Tonk, the Hercules M2, and the Hercules C2. 3.14 is Q2 2021, and it lists 2 items within locations. However, they are big ones. Planet Crusader, which is that large marble that's outside of Port Olisar, and Orson Landing Zone is the second thing. Gameplay lists 7 entries, starting with Fps Radar. This includes an improved signature system that supports much greater distance and the dampening of signatures by the environment interference. This feature will be available to players in ships, in ground vehicles, and on foot. Weapon Charge and Drain Tech. This is all of the back end relating to creating the first pass on the Charge Drain feature, which will be used in future locations and mission updates. Physical inventory. When added, players will physically store weapons, gadgets, consumables, healing items on their person and vehicles through backpacks, pockets, and containers. Radar scanning and ping. Radar is used to passively locate and track contacts. Scanning is used to obtain more information, and ping actively finds additional contacts or highlights volumes of space to investigate weak signatures. Healing, which includes all of the back-end tasks relating to the initial implementation of the healing feature. Hacking, which includes all of the back-end tasks relating to the first pass of hacking. The hacking process will be its own minigame. And NPC healing, which enables players to heal each other and NPCs. There's 1 ship listed, the Connie Taurus, and 3 items in core tech. Migrating legacy XML to data core, which is exactly what it sounds like. Vehicle module swapping, which has some huge ramifications. This is the system to support enabling players to swap entire rooms and modules via this VMA, and also allows designers to specify vehicle setups for Squadron 42. And there's a replacement to the legacy shield tech. This will adapt shield code to determine shield hits based on dynamic contoured shield meshes. 315 is Q3 2021. There's a location listing for colonialism, a small home for AI to live in. They provide the basic necessities to support small groups of people for an indefinite period of time. Gameplay lists 7 entries. Weapon magazine refilling and stripping. This is too much. This isn't a game anymore. This is like work. This will allow players to strip found weapons of their ammunition. They can then remove each bullet and refill their own magazine manually or via a bullet reloader. EVA 2 further improves EVA experience following the transitions to IFCS. This system will encourage the player to use 0G push-pull and the multi-tool tractor beam. Cutting, which is all of the back-end tasks related to updating the cutting feature of the multi-tool that will be used in future locations and missions. The Player Interaction Experience, or the PI, is a holistic array of complementary features and systems all related directly to the player. Player status, item status, environmental status, as well as interactions with both the game world and the objects within it are covered under these new systems. Bombs and mines. I don't have to explain that one. Salvage Tech, this feature includes all of the back-end tasks for the initial implementation of salvage. 0G push-pull. This adds the ability for the players to traverse surfaces in 0G by pushing and pulling with their hands. This will let you navigate whilst not wearing an EVA suit, or if you decide to turn the thrusters off to be more stealthy. Within ships is the Redeemer, the Hercules A2, and both the Ion and Inferno. And within core tech, ship interior culling. When complete, the game engine will no longer render the entire interior of a ship, which will improve performance. 316 is Q4 2021, just in time for the holidays. And we start with Orson V2. Just like what was done with New Babbage, this will improve the landing zone with more shops and expanding various services around that city. Gameplay lists 7 items, starting with weapon misfire and wear. Pretty straightforward. Player slide. This new feature will let you traverse short distances by sliding along the floor. Player prone. Again, pretty straightforward. Ladders, not so straightforward. This is an improvement that'll let you aim and shoot weapons, use gadgets, heal, and complete other one-handed actions while on a ladder, which is cool. Physicalized weapon handling introduces character animations while interacting with and customizing FPS weapons. The aim here is just better fidelity and better immersion. Lockers and inventory, T1, introduces a consistent way to store clothes, armor, and items in a physicalized state. This also includes a more robust and tactile method of storing items on shelves and attachment surfaces. And fire extinguishers, almost done. In ships and vehicles, we have ship shield emitters, converting ship shield emitters into physicalized objects that can be targeted and destroyed. In core tech, there's 2. Dynamic door alignment. When added, doors and elevators across all ships will dynamically adjust to the terrain. And M50 engine swapping, which states that the update will allow players to swap the bespoke engine of the Origin M50 for other compatible components. And that's it. Pretty cool. Lots of stuff. This one took some time, but I feel it was totally worth it. If you liked it, please share it with your friends and org mates. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.